Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakak Qudash. The one to the apostle nails, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers that are preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. May Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, have mercy upon you. Alright, y'all pay attention. Appear to be a snow bunny. She got a message. Listen up.
If a man has no friends, pay attention. If a man has no friends or a very small circle, don't get it twisted. That is not a red flag. That's a man who has mastered himself. A man without friends or a very small circle is a very, very secure man. He's learned that quality matters more than quantity, and he doesn't need an audience to validate his worth. His confidence comes from inside, not from the approval of others. He's not afraid to be alone because he knows his own strength. He is very selective with his energy and who he lets into his life. That is a good quality to have. He walks away from drama and gossip because he has built a peaceful life for himself and does not want to let that go. He doesn't need to be surrounded by people to feel complete. He's comfortable, he's grounded, he's steady, and he doesn't waste time on meaningless relationships. He knows that what he wants, and he doesn't waste time with it. So if you come across a man with very few friends or a very small circle, don't underestimate him. That's not loneliness. That is discipline, and he knows peace. It's not isolation. That is self-mastery, and men like that, they're the hardest ones to replace. If a man...
And I'm going to say this here. How much more a man that has what? That has the Lord. Huh? That are secure in what? With Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, not Jesus. I know y'all love y'all Jesus, y'all. And you're going to die with Jesus right over here in Babylon. So, hey, the point is that what she's saying that, we Israelites, we love we love entertaining one another. Entertaining one another, meaning what? We love, and then we entertain one another. We doing what? We either drinking or smoking, or both. And what does that lead into? Right? Habits. And habits, and being having bad habits, especially with Esau's creation. It's not a good thing, because when you drink too much, smoke too much, and most of you all drink and smoke too much, but I know most of you all gonna say, I'll drink just this and that. I don't know, alcoholic say he was an alcoholic, and I don't know, a junkie say he was a junkie. All y'all say the same thing, and you play what? You play the same games. Let's read a few of these comments. I ain't gonna be long tonight. Just a little something I want to get into. I seen it and I said, let me do a video on this here. Makes a lot of sense. Almost like she's speaking about me. But a lot of the prophets, a lot of the brothers that's grounded in this truth, they are alone. I mean, brothers have women, right? Have wives, but it's not always, like Apostle Paul. What did Apostle Paul say? Be as though be as though they had none, meaning a wife. Why is that? Because women are a distraction. They are a distraction. You can't put nothing before the truth, because when you put anything before the truth, you're in error. Right? Can't put that before the truth. You'll find some women will get upset because you saying you can't put nothing before the truth, including your woman, or your children, or mother, or father. Why? Because it's clear. What I want. Matthew 10:37. I wasn't even going here, but hey, I'm just going off the dome. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that not taketh up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. So, I mean, can't get no plainer than that. Why? Because one thing about the gospel is pure, pure as can be. You know, for the most part, people are always trying to say that they love the Lord and they love the word of the Lord, but every time you turn around, they're getting offended by the gospel all the time that's being preached. But you love you love the Son. No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't do the things that you do, and you wouldn't do it over and over and over and over, and you wouldn't get offended, right? You wouldn't get offended of the gospel. Though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, right? Because of, you know, and most of y'all get passion. Most of you all get passion for the word as anger, and not understanding passion for the word can perceive as anger, because you may get a little loudness, you know, your boldness and your truth, and not giving a damn about you know, emotion, especially women emotions and feelings, and because why? Because you're deep rooted in that passion for this truth. It's not hard. It's not hard to figure out. It's just hard for you, ones that don't have the true spirit of the Lord. Y'all don't have it, man. Right? It's obvious. But, you know, like you might say, who am I? Let's you know what? Let's read Apostle Paul. I quoted it earlier. What that is, 1 Corinthians. It's 1 Corinthians. I don't know what it is. 1 Corinthians. I know it's 7. And deep in the verse somewhere. Let me get it right quick. Right. 7 in verse 20. You know what? Before I go there, let's go to verse. Let's go to verse 22, right? 1 Corinthians 7:22. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman. Likewise also he that is called being free is a Mashiach's servant. So the true servants of the Lord are who? Who are the true servants of the Lord? Isaiah 42:1. Behold, my servant, whom I uphold, my elect. During this time, the Heavenly Father only have chosen during this time the elect. Behold, my servant, whom I uphold, my elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment and to the Gentile, which was Israelites, first and foremost. Right? Confusion. If you're confused concerning the Gentiles, who the true Gentiles is, and that Apostle Paul came for, then what? You are not what? You are not in the correct spirit. You're not in the right spirit. We call what that is. I think it's that's actually in Isaiah 2. That is 65. I think it's 2 in it. I think it's 10:2. But we go to 65 and Isaiah 65 and verse 9. Isaiah 65 and 9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountain, and my elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. Right? This is the proof of future prophecy that's a waste of the what? Let me see. It's one in Isaiah 11:11. Isaiah 11:11. I think I'm getting the right one. Let me see something. Y'all bear with me real quick. I think that's yeah. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to what? To recover the remnant of his people. A remnant means what? A small number of what? Of people. Meaning starting with what? The 144,000 of men. First. The second time to recover, this future prophecy, to recover the what? The remnant of his people, which shall be left in Assyria, which is northern Babylon, and from Egypt, right? This is what that is, which is scattered in when they say Egypt, because we Israelites, we are mostly scattered in the west and the southern parts of Egypt, which is Africa, right? And from Petros, which is Upper Egypt, and from Cush, Ethiopian, which most of y'all think y'all are, and from Elam, East India, and from Shinar, that's Babylon, right? Which is America, known as what? America is known as Egypt. America is known as Babylon, because these are what? These are places where Israelites were what? In captivity, which is America is in the same aspect of what? What the future past what? Us being in captivity by the hands of who? Our enemies. And from the isles of the sea. You can't get around it, man. Can't get around it. Hamas, meaning that's Syria. You can't get around the what? The service of, I think it's 1 more in 10. Might well stay in Isaiah. I think it 10. Isaiah 10 and verse 20. Hey, look, going in on the remnant. The remnant is what? It matters. Thou lesson within lesson. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant, meaning what? A small remaining quantity of what? Of something. The remnant of Israel, in such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. Talking about you what? Ye various nations. Now in the major nation that what? That is giving Israel the most hell. Northern and the southern tribe of the children of Israel, Esau, Edom, so-called white man. But shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the what? The mighty God. For though thy people, Israel, be as the sand of the sea, because we can't be counted, man. It's too many of us, man. 12 tribes of the children of Israel, we are like the sand of the sea. We are nations within nations, man. You calling ourselves what? American blacks, Indies, Puerto Rican, Haitians, Dominicans, Cubans. It goes on and on. Mexicans, Argentina, Chile. We just go on and on and on. We are nations within nations. That's why we can't be counted. Yet a remnant of them shall return. Their consumption decrease shall what? Shall overflow righteousness with righteousness. Should I say? So we, as the children of Israel, but the purpose was for me going over here, which is 1 Corinthians. I just ran off of the remnant, because what most of the Israelites never talk about, they never talk about the remnant. And the remnant is very important, because in the last days they tell you that what? That a remnant will only be saved out of Babylon, which is a miracle. Can't get around that. A remnant. But, they love catering to what? The community. There's nowhere in the Bible where the Most High is trying to save the community. Think about it, y'all. the flood, 8 people. How's he? So when the Lord visited the earth back then, he only saved 8 people. So the Son coming back to visit, right? And he's not coming to pass out roses. So what is he coming to do? He coming to save everybody? That don't make no sense, man. Look at me. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. But that's the ignorance that you slow bellies have in your mind, because Esau had played with your mind so much and all these different words and tossed you. You know, you're being tossed to and fro in Babylon, America. It's like watching a tennis match. And then you go from watching a tennis match, your head going back and forth. You go watch football. They throwing the ball back and forth. Basketball, up and down the court. It's called distractions, y'all. Those are distractions. So most of you are not going to get it, because what? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, don't want all y'all, man. He don't want everybody, man. Everybody not going to be saved. And you got to understand, and if you getting upset about that, I mean, a lot of you all get upset about the that we speak about that there are going to be captivity in the kingdom. Don't y'all know the kingdom of heaven is on earth for us as a people? It's not in the heavens with the Heavenly Father, man. Oh my goodness. Anyway, like I say, Apostle Paul say, right, be as though they had none. Let's hear this. Let's hear a little bit of this here again.
Man has no friends. Pay attention. If a man has no friends or a very small circle, don't get it twisted. That is not a red flag. That's a man who has mastered himself. A man with
mastered himself, meaning a man that is what? That is like the son who everybody called JC, right? He was what? He was a stoic man, right? He was a stoic. But Apostle Paul, just did not to get off subject. Apostle Paul say, be as though. Hold on. Let me just go to there. I come back to. I just bagged up a little bit, but let's go back since I keep quoting it, which is 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. Why? Like I said earlier, women are what? Most women, all women are a distraction. Right? All vice versa. If a sister, listen up. Verse 30. And they that weep, as though they weep not. And they that rejoice, as though they rejoice not. And they that buy, as though they possess not. So, in other words, let all that material possessions and BS go. Because you're worried about more about that than worried about what? The Lord. If a man got a woman, most women love what? Their material possessions before they even loving their children. Yeah, I know they'll say they don't put nobody for their children and this and that and all that, blah, 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 but that's a lie. Women love their material possessions theme first and foremost before anything. Verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Because this kingdom here is not going to be here forever. This kingdom is already on its last leg. America's on the last leg. So this place, the fashions, or should I say, of this world has what? Has passed. Verse 32. Listen up. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belongs to the Lord. Huh? Read that again. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belongs to the Lord. Why? How he may please the Lord. Meaning doing the work, man. So you can't put no one before your wife or none of them before. I know we still in captivity. Captivity, right? We still in the hands of our enemies, and we have to work. We have to what? We have to pay bills. We still being oppressed by the what? By this devil, right? But you know what? I was going to say the Heavenly Father, but it is the Heavenly Father, because why? The Heavenly Father won't put this devil over us, right? For a time and a purpose, right? So even in what? But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. See? See that? But again, just because a man is what? She said very well.
Out friends or a very small circle is a very, very secure man. He's learned.
Secure, right. And a man is very secure, especially a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. He is secure in what? 1 Corinthians, back up a little bit. 1 Corinthians 7:22. For he that is called in the Lord, receive that unction from who? Yahweh Shai. And then in the process of what? Receiving that unction, what's happened? The Heavenly Father what? Chose and gave him what? That increase. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman. Likewise also he that is called being free is a Mashiach servant. Ye are bought with a price. Be not ye the servants of men or women. Put nothing before this truth. Nothing. I mean nothing. Because when you do that, then what? You're not his. Then you go to put what? Families for this. A lot of you are going to take the MOTB because of these women and these children. Yes, you will. Yeah, you are. Ye are brought with a price. Be not ye the what? The servants of what? Of men. Brethren, let every man wherein he is called therein abide with thy power. Abide with thy power. Because like I was saying earlier, you know, most of y'all get passion confused with the word as anger. You know, again, you're not understanding the passion for the word that a prophet of the Lord has and possess for the Most High. You will not understand it if you don't have anything, because just like Yahweh Shai, what that is, Stoic man, what is that? Luke. It's Luke, right? Luke, Luke 19. Luke 19. Where I want to start at. Let's start at verse 21, right? Listen to this here. For I feared thee because thou art a austere man. Talk about Yahweh Shai, right? He's a what? Austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapeth that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, out of thy own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest that I was an austere man, making up. What's an austere man? Real quick, right? What is an austere man? Yahweh Shai in hold up, y'all.
An austere man shows strictness in a severe manner, living a simple life without luxury. He's often seen as stern, uncompromising, and disciplined in his expectations.
Huh? Is not that the Lord? Or most of you all think is what? It think is a sweet and gentle man? No. Right? Most men, especially men of the Lord, they are what? They are loners. Why are they loners? Because the ways and the things of this world is not it don't have anything to do with the Heavenly Father. So if you find yourself being wrapped up in the matters of this world, and you're being a part and taking part in all of the wickedness that Esau, Edom push, so you may need to check yourself, because you're what? You're making yourself available what? To this world and others. What that is, I think that's Mark. Mark 11 and verse, Mark 11 and 15. Listen to this. This is Yahweh Shai, who most of you all think soft and gentle. And they came to Jerusalem, and Yahweh Shai, who y'all even call Jesus, went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. And would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. Verse 17. And he taught, saying unto them, it is not written, my house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And look at all these. Look at Genesis. Den of thieves. Look at the IUIC. Huh? They have made the house. They selling everything that ain't tied down. T-shirts and drawers, Bibles, and fringe. They selling everything. They selling everything. They even selling husbands and wives in IUIC. Your husband don't want to be in the truth after a certain period of time. You got to leave them and find you one up in here. This is what IUIC is teaching. IUIC is making people commit sin, especially the woman. That's wickedness, man. That's total wickedness. But a lot of you all won't understand, because most of you all think that what is a friend? What is a friend? Do you even know what a friend is? You calling one another my friend. What that is? Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus. Actually 6. Ecclesiastes 6 and listen to this here. Let's start at verse 6 and 6. Be in peace with many. Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000. Most of you all are what? A camp from camp, watching everybody. That's why you confused. That's why you don't know that's why most of you don't know what the MOTB is, because the only one that really teach the MOTB is who? Is the men of GMS and affiliates. They're the only one that's giving you warning in the last day, that true warning concerning what the MOTB is, and that the system, the beast system, you got to be what? Choose this system. Like now, we are in the system doing what? We're in the system, buying and selling. That's not hard. Revelation 13 and 16 to 17, that's not hard. That's not a hard one at all, period. And then especially when you add buying and selling, what does that mean? That means you got to be part of what? Of that system, which is the beast. And the beast is what? It's the system. That's the overall aspect concerning the New World Order. They are one and the same. They are going what? They are jointly together for what? For a purpose. That you would choose who? Choose this man's system, or you going to choose the Lord? And most of you all, by what? By your ignorance, you're going to choose what? You're going to choose the system, the beast. Hey, it is what it is. Anyway, verse 6 and 6, a friend, right? Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him, and be not hasty to what to credit him. For some man is a friend for what? For his own occasion. And a lot of you all are what? Are friends for what? Your own occasion. A lot of you all befriend most people because why? That's somewhere you can go away and drink. Most of you all are friends because you what? You either drinking together or you smoking together. You know, some of you Negro ninjas in the hood, y'all are friends because why? You chasing whores all day long. Huh? Making babies over here, making babies over there, making babies over here. With what? With nothing but skunks. This is why what? This is why the community is what? Is in shambles in the way it is. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some is what? A friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. That's right. One great example of that, why? Back in the day, in the late 80s, early 90s, niggas getting locked up was because they was hustling, right? They all did what? Will not abide in the day of thy trouble. When Esau came with all them damn indictments and whatever, what they were doing? Telling on each other left and right. So we already know when the trouble comes, when that Jacob trouble comes, we know what you're going to do. We know what you're going to do. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of what thy trouble. And there's a friend who being turned to what? To enmity, meaning hostile feelings, right? And strife will what? Will discover thy reproach, meaning what? To lay blame. You're gonna lay blame. Again, some friend, no matter whether it's a woman or a man, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. They're not going to, it won't happen. But in thy prosperity, meaning when you prosper or having something, you got more friends than you could ever what? Than you could ever want. He will be as what? Thyself, and will be whole over thy servants. If thou be brought low, if you be brought low, ain't got shit, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. This is what people of the world is what? It's commonly known for what? For wicked behavior as such. Separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends. Take heed. So who wants to be friends with what? With a bunch of wicked niggas? Huh? Not a man, a true man of the Lord. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such and one has what? Has found a treasure. Nothing do of what? Countervail, meaning to prevail against. And faithful friend in his excellency is what? Invaluable, meaning above value. A true friend is a what? Above value. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall what? Shall find him. So how many of y'all think y'all got friends, true friends? How many of you all think you really got friends that are gonna have your back in that time, in that day? Stay tuned. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. So if you want a friend, you gotta find someone that are in the same mind as you. So if you're not abiding in the truth, and you and confident in your comfort in your mind and what in the truth and being part of the truth, I really don't want to be your friend, because I already know what you all about. I know what you all about. You turn on me as quick as I'm standing there talking to you, then somebody else walk up and talking about me, and you gonna talk right along about me. This is what people does. This is what, especially you Israelites. Especially you Israelites. You can't, you're not gonna get around it, man. You can't get around it because this is the behavior of us people, man. But men, most men are what? It's quite natural that what? A friend, what is there though? Ecclesiasticus 40:23. A friend and companion never meet and miss. Meaning he's never out of order. But above what both is what? Is a wife with her husband. Shit. How many say that we got what? Got wives that we truly enjoy and that would truly have your back. Shit. He would take you out as quick as she can for 20 grand. She'll take her husband out the earth, man, and feed him a bunch of salt and kill him. Just for a small amount of money, man. It's amazing, man. Amazing. Someone that have worked all his life and raised all your children, and then bought you a home, spent 30 years paying for it, and you are so easily to put him to death. Amazing, man. Listen to this again. I'm gonna close this out right here, y'all. Listen to this here.
No friends, pay attention. If a man has no friends or a very small circle, don't get it twisted. That is not a red flag. That's a man who has mastered himself. A man without friends or a very small circle is a very, very secure man. He's learned that quality matters more than quantity, and he doesn't need an audience to validate his worth. His confidence comes from inside, not from the approval of others. He's not afraid to be alone because he knows his own strength. He is very selective with his energy and who he lets into his life. That is a good quality to have. He walks away from drama and gossip because he has built a peaceful life for himself and does not want to let that go. He doesn't need to be surrounded by people to feel complete. He's comfortable, he's grounded, he's steady, and he doesn't waste time on meaningless relationships. He knows that what he wants, and he doesn't waste time with it. So if you come across a man with very few friends or a very small circle, don't underestimate him. That's not loneliness. That is discipline, and he knows peace. It's not isolation. That is self-mastery, and men like that, they're the hardest ones to replace. If a man...
Discipline and peace. Shalom. Ka'ala Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua B'Hashem B'Kakodash. Shalom.